Hello, it's me again. Last time I ended my video off where my Coin Dozer game was actually starting to look somewhat like a game. Basically, right now, if I press 1 or 2 on the keyboard, this triangle thing starts spawning coins, and when one of the coins hit this red scanner thing here, it adds a dice roll to the queue. Now as long as you have dice rolls in the queue, the game keeps spawning dices to roll. And the dice determines how much the character can move through the map, kinda like a board game or I guess Mario Party without the minigame aspect. Currently though, the tiles are all the same, so no matter where you land, you just get 100 coins. Which is kinda boring, so in this video I think I'll start by implementing some functionality to the tiles I have. And maybe after that, I'm thinking to create somewhat of a more appealing UI for the game. And oh yeah, I almost forgot, I added this fish tile which I think would be fun if there was some type of luck and gambling involved. Kinda like doing a gacha, but instead you fish for a fish, and you can sell that fish for a lot of coins. Alright, so I just went ahead and changed the tiles. Basically the town here will have shopping tiles, the wasteland will have dungeon tiles, the place around the river will have fishing, and then the forest will have level up tiles. Other than that, I just randomized the other tiles, which are the plus and minus coin tiles, as well as the ball tile, which will later spawn a ball when the player lands on it. I also drew this simple button on Krita and switched the Coin Dozer material to something metallic. And honestly, I think it's already starting to look pretty nice. Though I do think the Coin Dozer looks a bit too plain right now, especially how there's no place for the coins to spawn. Normally on Coin Dozers, there's a way for the coins to burst out on a win, so I definitely want to make that happen here. Alright, so give me a second.
A few moments later.
Alright, so after receiving some advice from my friends, I decided to make this thing on top of the mountain here. Which, if you actually look closely, is the Coin Dozer. With this, whenever the player wins any coins, I can actually spawn the coins naturally, rather than just suddenly pop up out of nowhere in the coin count. So I tried making the player move count a bit more clear by adding this bright yellow text instead of the white text on the right corner, and I also added this coin animation whenever the player wins any coins. Alright, next I think I want to make the coin count and queue count here actually look like they're a part of the game and not just play hide and seek with the viewer. So...
A few moments later.
Alright, so I made this simple box on Krita again and also took a screenshot of the dice. So here's what it looks like now. The coin count is obviously still just the coin count, but with the dice queue, I made it so that you can only have up to 6 dices. So I think that should maybe balance it a bit more because earlier I was able to get to like 50 and stuff like that in queue, which definitely wasn't good. You know, not gonna lie, this game is actually starting to look pretty decent now. Except that's only the looks, because when you actually start playing it, you'll notice that it's still boring as heck. You know, it's even worse because landing on half the tiles, or not even half, way more than half, just does nothing still. So, anyway, I think I'm gonna start by implementing the dungeon tile, and if I have time, I'll also do the ball tile. Alright, so what I'm thinking now is to kind of make my game into this RPG type thing, so I'm later planning to add weapons, items, and leveling, and such like that to enhance the character. Now, just enhancing the character isn't fun, so obviously the character has to fight something, and that's where the dungeon tile comes in. Initially, I had planned to make the dungeon entirely on a different map with a procedurally generated dungeon using full mouse controls like an FPS game, but I figured that might be way too much action for a game that's supposed to be mostly chill. So instead, I'm thinking to make the combat turn-based. And I know what you might be thinking, turn-based is boring and overdone. And I mean, you're not wrong, but I still like it, so... Anyway, give me another moment, please.
A few moments later.
No, I'm not slacking off.
A few moments later.
Hi, it's me again. I got quite a bit done, so let me start with the combat system. I don't got any animations or effects done yet, but basically there's 4 types of attacks. Normal, fire, grass, and water. Other than the normal attack, which is just going to be your basic attack, just like Pokemon, your attacks will have type advantages and disadvantages, and they'll also have limited use. By this I mean elemental attacks are very powerful compared to normal attacks if you're able to use them advantageously. But in order to use them, you need to have this thing called a mana catalyst. And this is exactly where the ball tile comes in place. Whenever you land on a ball tile, it spawns a ball onto the Coin Dozer, and dropping that gives you the ability to use the element one time. Now, I'll probably have to change the system a bit for balancing and overall fun, but this is at least what I have for now. By the way, if you're wondering why the enemy does so much damage, it's because the character doesn't have HP, but instead has bravery points. Basically, on the enemy's turn, the enemy will try to scare the character away, depleting her bravery points. The character can attack all she wants until the enemy scares her away. Of course, later when I add some items and other stuff, these battles should become a lot easier. I also made it so that each battle carries over, so the damage you do in one remains to the next. Once you defeat that enemy though, you go to the next enemy which is stronger, but also gives you more coins. Alright, I know this isn't really finished yet, but I think I'm pretty happy with this for now. So the last thing I'm going to do for this video is create a title screen and put a bit of sound. So I'll see you in a moment.
A few moments later.
Alright, so that's about what I have for now. It's been about a month since I started making this game. I know the game isn't finished yet, but I honestly didn't think I'd even make it this far. I do have university coming up in a few days though, so I don't think I'd be able to upload as frequent anymore, but I'll definitely try continuing this journey. Either way, I just wanted to take this time and thank you so much for coming along this journey with me. Whether you started watching today or if you have been watching from the start. We recently hit 170 subscribers, and I know it doesn't seem like much, but it really does mean a hell of a lot to me. I mean, it literally is one of the biggest reasons why I was even able to make it this far. So again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a fantastic day.